Hey everyone, this is Exploring Fiction, and welcome back to another video. So guys, today I am ranking the 4 books in the Inheritance Cycle book series by Christopher Paolini. Now, just for some background, this book series was my absolute favorite growing up, and it really shaped my love for fantasy and fiction in general, maybe more so than any other work of fiction. So that's just what we're working with here, but I'm gonna rank these 4 books real quick for you because I've been thinking about making this video for a long time. So of course there will be spoilers for all 4 of the Inheritance Cycle books ahead, but you know, these books have been out for a while, so hopefully you've already read them if you're watching this video, and if not, then just be warned. But anyway, let's get right into it. And coming in at 4th place is Brisingr. While still a superb novel, I saw this as an easy choice for 4th place. The pace dragged on a bit in many places, the dwarf politics were slow, and while interesting for world-building purposes, they lacked a high level of suspense, because Auric becoming king was the only logical option in conclusion, if you really think about it. I mean, nothing else would have really made sense. Also, I personally didn't care for the introduction and use of Varog, the Second Shade, that Arya had to fight near the end, as it felt a bit like Death Star 2 syndrome. Despite all the problems that I just listed, this novel had many highlights for me. These included Eragon and Roran rescuing Katrina from Helgrind, Auric's coronation and reparation of Isidar Mithrim, Eragon learning Brahm is his father, Roran wrestling Yarbog, the death of Ormus, and Roran continuing his arc to greatness and just complete badassery. So, for all those reasons, Brisingr comes in at number 4. Coming in at number 3, Eragon. Though maybe this is a surprising ranking for some, Eragon takes 3rd place. Many critiques I have for this novel can be attributed to Christopher Paolini's youth when he wrote it, as it does read as somewhat inexperienced. Farthendur was hard to wrap my mind around, and some parts, such as the encounter with Torkenbrand and the Slavers, felt forced only to make thematic points, aka Eragon has a better moral compass than Murtagh, instead of being a natural part of the story. Also, this book is the typical hero's journey, which is not bad by any means. It's just nothing too fancy that puts it over the top for me. I just can't rank it higher because it's kind of formulaic. The highlights of this book for me include Brahm, Eragon, and Saphira's bond and relationship. Murtagh is a good guy, the Battle of Farthendur, Durza as a villain, and the very fast pace, because there's always a constant feeling of adventure, and so I love that about it. So while this may be unpopular, I have Eragon at 3rd place. Coming in at 2nd, Eldest. My first time reading Eldest when I was younger, I was bored and uninterested throughout most of it. However, upon rereading this book, I found it immensely more enjoyable. My few critiques include the swiftness and lack of suspense or drama in King Hrothgar's death, and the amount of time Eragon spent dealing with realizing the significance of all life. Other than that, Eldest was a great novel that I extremely underappreciated when I first read it. The highlights of Eldest include Ormus and Glader, the introduction of Roran's perspective, Naswada and her tactics and becoming leader of the Varden, Eragon learning the ways of magic more deeply, Eragon failing against Vanir because of his injury, showing that there are lasting consequences of the first book, the death of Azihad, the fact that politics latched into Eragon despite his intentions, Murtagh being reintroduced as a formidable foe along with Thorn, his dragon, the Battle of the Burning Plains, and the Varden's alliance with the Urgals. So like I said, Eldest really grew on me once I reread it, and so for that reason it comes in all the way at 2nd place. But coming in at 1st is Inheritance. And this book is the culmination of the whole series and the war within it. Battles were fought and mysteries were solved, though some were intriguingly left open-ended. My only main critique of Inheritance is the bittersweet ending, as I wanted Eragon and Arya to end up together, even though I understand why they didn't. The many highlights of Inheritance include The final battle between Eragon and Murtagh, Roran leading the Varden, Eragon and Saphira discovering the world is round, Arya killing Shrukan, the introduction and death of Lord Barst, Arya becoming a rider with her new dragon Firnin, the payoff of Salombum's biggest riddle being the Rock of Kuthian and the Vault of Souls from all the way back in the first book, the redemption, or assumed redemption, of Murtagh and Thorn and their realistic retreat from society, Angela and her weapons, the defeat of Galbatorix, Eragon accepting his fate and burden, and finally, the bittersweet ending, which made the book more memorable than many of its counterparts in this genre. So guys, there you have it. That is the Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini, ranked from worst to best. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. I would love to talk Inheritance Cycle with you guys. This is my favorite fantasy series growing up, and it will always hold a special place in my heart. So if you have something to say, please let me know down below. I would love to hear it. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this. Subscribe if you're new here. I would love to have you. And like always, I will see you next time.